Chapter 1570, 1, Lesson 1. 30 members of the first training class of Fueying gathered in a classroom in the academy this morning. It was called a classroom, but it was actually a larger conference room. 30 aliens sat separately, and now they looked completely different from a month ago. They wore special combat uniforms with a black E tattooed on their left chest. Everyone's spirits were very full. Since their abilities had been greatly improved in just 1 month, their faces were full of pride. Even a month ago, some of them only mastered the superficial use of their abilities and were only slightly stronger than ordinary people. However, now they have already selected themselves out of the ranks of ordinary people. We are the pride of heaven. Many members of the Fueying troops think so. Only Lu Dehai and others, because they have been following Zhang Yi for a long time and are senior executives of the 3 major bases, look much more stable. Compared with those students who have just awakened their abilities, they are more aware of how big the gap is between their current strength and those in the shelter. They don't have the capital to be arrogant. But whether it is Xiao Honglian, Xing Tian, or Lu Dehai, they all long for the day when they can become Zhang Yi's right-hand man like Yu Jiguang and Su Chunlei. Lu Dehai raised his wrist, pulled open his sleeves, and revealed a pure gold Patek Philippe watch to check the time. 8:50. It's almost time. Although various intelligent systems are very advanced nowadays, and there is no need for old-fashioned mechanical products such as watches to tell time, Lu Dehai still has a special liking for them. Before the end of the world, he was a poor fisherman. He had only seen such luxury goods worth millions on TV. So now, when he has the opportunity to get these luxury goods that were once out of reach, he will collect them very enthusiastically. Now his room is almost full of these things. Even though these things are no longer valuable now, they still give him a sense of satisfaction. A man with messy long hair and ordinary appearance came over. "Brother Dehai, what are you looking at?" "Look at the time." Lu Dehai put down his sleeves, not too embarrassed to let people see his watch. After all, he is the only one who is still playing with this kind of thing. He looked at the door of the classroom and whispered, "Yesterday the instructor said that we will have a cultural class today. I'm curious about what we will learn." The long-haired man was called Ruan Ping. He rubbed his unshaven chin and said in confusion, "Yeah, aren't we trained to fight? What's the point of taking cultural classes?" Xing Tian, who is not far away, laughed and said, "Hey, Laozhong is no exception nowadays. It's just like those companies in the past. They were so idle every day that they had to do these things. They thought they could unite their subordinates, but everyone was annoyed. Let's just listen casually." He was too lazy to listen to this kind of cultural class. Xing Tian was ready. He would be downstairs when the time came, using smart devices to play movies. Anyway, it would be okay to get through the class. Lu Dehai shook his head. "No, it's not that simple." He frowned and thought very seriously. Mr. Zhang is a very smart person. He won't play with such formalism. No matter what he does, there must be a profound reason. Xing Tian curled his lips. "You are a bit of idol worship." Lu Dehai laughed. "Mr. Zhang is indeed my idol." The two were chatting when the door of the classroom opened. Bailey Chongqing's sturdy body appeared at the door, and all the students in Fueying immediately sat up straight, with their backs as straight as electric poles. After a month of training, Bailey Chongqing was not as good-tempered as he was in front of Zhang Yi. He really trained these students to death. He tortured these people beyond recognition, but it did improve their actual combat ability rapidly. Bailey Chongqing stood at the door, his eyes swept across the classroom coldly, and every student felt like a thorn in the back. At this time, another figure came from behind Bailey Chongqing. A man who was only about 1.6 meters tall and had a plain appearance, combed his hair neatly and wore a thick coat, and walked up to the podium. His coat was very big, and he was very short, so he looked a little funny, like a child who stole the clothes of an adult at home. Xing Tian whispered, "Isn't this Ma Wenzheng?" After Ma Wenzheng came to Tianhai City, he was assigned to Xingtian's Qingpu base and has been helping Xingtian manage the base. For so long, the two have cooperated very well. Under Ma Wenzheng's professional management model, the Qingpu base has been well managed. Ma Wenjing walked up to the podium and smiled at the unruly aliens below. He clasped his hands together and said with a smile, "Everyone, I am your ideological and political teacher, Ma Wenjing. I believe some students in the audience have already known me. From today on, I will teach you relevant courses in ideological and political aspects." Hearing this, the aliens below couldn't help but murmur. Some people complained in a low voice. Sure enough, it's the same thing again. How boring. Boring. They are taking us for granted. A 3-year-old child? They are not children anymore. They have heard and seen similar routines countless times, and no one takes it seriously. Only Gao Tianwu, who had just returned from Shengjing, took out his smart device seriously, intending to record Ma Wenjing's lectures and study them repeatedly. As a latecomer in Tianhai City, he does not have high qualifications, so he has been relatively low-key after his return. He accumulates a lot of experience and then makes a big splash. This is his style of doing things. The expression on Ma Wenjing's face became serious. Everyone knows that after the advent of the Ice Age, human beings on the entire planet have had a very difficult life. A large number of our compatriots died in that severe disaster, and we are lucky to have survived until now. But in the past 3 years, has the world really been as peaceful as we thought? Ma Wenjing looked at the people present. Everyone couldn't help but lower their heads and began to ponder. Although they did not leave Tianhai City, it did not mean that they knew nothing about the situation outside. This was of course inseparable from some news deliberately spread by Yang Xinxin. There is no need to deliberately exaggerate anything because the outside world is extremely dangerous. In the area outside Tianhai City, although Blizzard City holds a dominant position, the entire Jiangnan region is full of separatist aliens. Those vicious disobedience are extremely cruel and kill people like eating, the literal meaning. Taking people as food has become a common state in the years of resource scarcity in the end times. And places outside the Jiangnan region will only be worse. The reason why they have been able to survive safely for 3 years and have hardly encountered any life-threatening crises is simply because they live in Tianhai City. Chapter 1572, For the Highest Glory. Ma Wenjing said, "Yes, I believe everyone has thought of the reason. The reason why we can have a safe living environment is that our Tianhai City has a great patron saint, Mr. Zhang." This sounded like bragging, but no one present could refute it. They nodded and agreed with Ma Wenjing's statement from the bottom of their hearts. Because of Zhang Yi's current glorious record, even if all the praises are exhausted, it is not excessive. It is because of his existence that Tianhai City has become a pure land after the end of the world. Ma Wenjing continued, "The establishment of the Fueying Force is to hope to tap more talents. Under the leadership of Mr. Zhang Yi, we will protect Tianhai City, this peaceful home. At the same time, it is also to protect ourselves." Looking at the world now, Mr. Zhang Yi is one of the most powerful people. Not everyone has the opportunity to be by his side. You can get this opportunity to join Fueying. It's just because Mr. Zhang Yi cares about the old relationship and takes special care of you. The 30 people below still couldn't refute this. Talent? There may not be many outstanding aliens, but there are many people like Bailey Chongqing in Blizzard City. With one word from Zhang Yi, they will rush to join the Fueying army. Ma Wenjing said, "So, the purpose of the ideological and political class is very simple. I tell you frankly that, firstly, an army with ideological guidance will have stronger discipline and combat capabilities. Secondly, it is to establish an alien army centered on Mr. Zhang Yi, an absolutely loyal alien army to Mr. Zhang Yi. Everyone is an adult, there is no need to hide. At this time, it is easier for everyone to accept it if it is explained more clearly." However, no one spoke because many people can talk about these great principles. If Ma Wenjing only has these 2 tricks, at most he can be a human trumpet to convey the words of Zhang Yi and other high-level officials in the shelter. Ma Wenjing was not in a hurry. He put his hands on the podium. "Starting from today, we will have a course every 3 days. And as an alien army dedicated to Mr. Zhang Yi, I will formulate a set of rules and regulations that belong to you." Ma Wenjing said, clenching his right hand into a fist and placing it on his chest near his heart. From today on, this action will become the symbol of the Fuying army. Clench your right fist and place it on your heart, then say, "For the supreme glory." Come on, follow me and do this action. Ma Wenjing looked at everyone with an encouraging look. Bailey Chongqing naturally placed his right fist on his chest, then looked at the 30 people. Seeing this, everyone began to learn this action one after another, placing their right fists on their chests. Ma Wenjing said, "Supreme represents His Excellency Zhang Yi. From now on, you're not allowed to call him by his name. This is to show respect for him. Now, please follow me and shout dash. For the supreme glory." Ma Wenjing's expression became much more serious, with no smile on his face, and his voice was crisp and clear. The voices below followed sparsely. For the supreme glories. Ma Wenjing continued to look at everyone with an encouraging expression and shouted again, "For the supreme glory. For the supreme glories." Once, twice, 3 times, everyone went from being embarrassed and indifferent at the beginning to raising their voices involuntarily later. In the whole classroom, the voices of 32 people mixed together, full of power. Under the influence of this atmosphere, people will involuntarily want to raise their voices to blend in with the group. Otherwise, they will appear to be out of place. Ma Wenjing nodded and said with words of encouragement, "Okay, this is very good. From today on, members of the Fuying unit must greet each other in this way when they meet. We must engrave this action and this sentence in our minds." Xing Tian spread his hands speechlessly. "Wait a minute." Everyone's eyes followed Ma Wenjing to look at Xing Tian. He only saw a speechless smile on his face. Ma Wenjing. After noticing Bailey Chongqing's serious expression, Xing Tian changed his words and said, "Oh no, Teacher Ma. What I want to say is that this childish routine can be treated as a ritual. But asking us to do such embarrassing things every day, this is too much of a joke." Ma Wenjing's face suddenly became gloomy. "Xing Tian, please watch your words." Xing Tian was startled by Ma Wenjing's sudden anger. He turned his head to look at the other students around him. Many of them were looking at him with dissatisfied expressions. It seemed that everyone didn't like him to stand out and disturb everyone's high spirits. "Don't you think this is strange?" Ma Wenjing took a deep breath, then pointed to the door. "Xing Tian, what do you think the Fuying force is?" "It is the private force of the world's top strong man, Mr. Zhang Yi. In the future, our group of people will stand at the top of the world and have a great reputation in the entire human race. Such a force must establish mature and tough rules, but you just treat it as a child's play. Now, please get out of this classroom immediately." Ma Wenjing pointed to the door of the classroom. Xing Tian didn't expect that Ma Wenjing, who had always been friendly with him in the past, would lose his temper so much. Obviously, this is just a meaningless class, just a formality. It was just a cultural education class. But when he looked at others for approval, he found that more and more people looked at him unkindly. "Xing Tian, get out. You shouldn't disturb our atmosphere at a time like this. Do you like to be the first to stand out?" Xing Tian's face looked a little ugly. For a moment, everyone in the classroom was rejecting him. Even though some people did not express their attitudes, they would not stand up to support him. Xing Tian walked out of the back door of the classroom in dismay. After he left, many people showed sincere smiles on their faces. It seemed that kicking Xing Tian, a guy who didn't fit in with the group, out of the classroom was a major victory for their group. For the first time, they had a strong sense of organizational identity with the Fuying organization. Okay, now the troublemakers have been driven out. Let's continue with our course. The Shadow Force will become the glory of all mankind, and you will be admired by hundreds of millions of people. And all of this is based on your following the Supreme. His light will cover you. So, the first section of our course is the first commandment that everyone must follow from now on. Take the supreme will as the highest instruction. Chapter 1573, Absorbing Population. Ma Wenjing's ideological and political class began among the first batch of members of the Fuying army. When people integrate into the collective, it is like water flowing into the sea. Soon, They will develop a sense of collective honor because of common goals and beliefs. Or, it can be said that in such a doomsday, faith is a very good placebo, which can help people find the goal of survival and comfort their hearts. Outside the classroom, Xing Tian, who was driven out, scratched his head in confusion, feeling inexplicable. But when he heard the neat voices in the classroom, his heart was a little empty. It seemed that he had been excluded from the whole of Fueying. He couldn't help but feel a sense of panic in his heart. Even if he didn't want to admit it, he felt uneasy when he thought that he might face the rejection of the entire Fueying army from now on. After the class, everyone walked out of the classroom talking and laughing. After all, compared with the boring and difficult training, this course is much easier. Ma Wenjing is very eloquent and speaks well, so they began to like this course. When they saw Xing Tian outside the classroom, everyone's expressions were a little weird. Xing Tian, how do you feel outside? A stranger asked with a smile, and the people next to him immediately showed a teasing expression on their faces. Xing Tian pulled the corner of his mouth. Go and have fun. He turned his head away, ignoring the ridicule of the team members. Invisibly, a thin invisible barrier seemed to appear between them. Xing Tian did not leave, but waited outside the classroom. He waited until Ma Wenjing walked out of the classroom, and then he went to meet him. Teacher Ma, can I talk to you? Xing Tian said. Ma Wenjing looked at Xing Tian and said with a smile, of course. I'm sorry about what happened in class just now. You should know me, I don't mean anything against you. Ma Wenjing looked at him deeply, and then said very seriously, Xing Tian, we are also old friends. But the past in Qingpu Base is the past. Now you are a member of Fueying, and my identity is a teacher. So, I hope that you can correct your attitude in class.
At
this point, Ma Wenjing smiled. Of course, after class, we are still friends. Xing Tian nodded. I know. Although he said this, he was still a little unconvinced in his heart. Ma Wenjing continued, you should understand that the Fueying force is a force that the Supreme has spent a lot of effort to establish. So the importance of this place is self-evident. If you don't cooperate with the courses here, aren't you going against the Supreme? Xing Tian's heart clicked. Although he and Zhang Yi are old classmates, he knows Zhang Yi very well. If anyone does not follow the rules in such an important matter, Zhang Yi will not be polite at all. He hurriedly said, I know that I did something wrong today, and I will change from now on.
Please don't tell him about this.
Ma Wenjing looked at Xing Tian with a deep and playful smile on his face. I can give you another chance. You must grasp it well. He reached out and patted Xing Tian on the shoulder, then turned and left. The next day, everyone found that Xing Tian had undergone obvious changes. Instead, he became the most active one in maintaining the order of Fueying. He shouted slogans the loudest, and he would also remind those Fueying members with a lax attitude. Faced with such a change, Ma Wenjing gave him direct encouragement and praised his loyalty to the Fueying organization and Zhang Yi in front of everyone. In fact, Zhang Yi had no idea what was happening here. He was very busy now and had no time to manage all the affairs of Tianhai City. Therefore, Yang Xinxin has always been in charge of everything, including Ma Wenjing's training, which was also guided by her.
What
Zhang Yi is most concerned about now is the creation of the Tianhai Forbidden Zone. With the shelter as the center, it is continuously expanded in a circular shape to the surrounding area, gradually expanding the area and defense capabilities of the base. Moreover, now he has broken the previous inherent thinking. In order to solve the problem of insufficient labor, he began to open the borders of Tianhai City and allow people from other cities to migrate here. The effect of this approach is immediate. Zhang Yi's reputation in the entire Jiangnan region is needless to say, and everyone is well known. But in the past, he did not allow people from other cities to enter Tianhai City to prevent some troublemakers from causing chaos here. He himself was too lazy to be the maintainer of regional order, so directly closing the city was the best choice. However, in order to build the Tianhai restricted area and for the possible aerospace engineering plan in the future, he needs to increase the number of laborers at hand. As soon as the news of the opening of Tianhai City spread, it quickly attracted a large number of outsiders. Everyone was eager to get Zhang Yi's protection. In just over a month, the population of Tianhai City soared from 10,000 to 80,000, and people from farther away are coming one after another. Tianhai City is now very rich in resources, which can stabilize the population within 300,000 and provide relatively favorable living conditions. Under extreme conditions, it can accommodate a population of 1 million, however. Zhang Yi's short-term plan is to accept 100,000 people first, and then continue to open the border after the initial plan is successful. Solving the two major problems of population survival, food and energy, is not a big problem for him. After his training, a group of people with auxiliary attributes appeared in Tianhai City. People with plant attributes like Li Jian can speed up the cultivation of crops. The aliens in the coastal areas can enter the ocean to fish without protection, which provides a large amount of food for Tianhai City. Lu Dehai once reported to Zhang Yi. Lu Dehai said, "I was born a fisherman. In the past, when I was at the seaside, one person could catch 1,000 kilograms of fish in half a month. There are thousands of young and middle-aged people in the entire Chaoyu base who can go out to sea to fish. Assuming 1,000 kilograms per person, we can catch millions of kilograms of fish in half a month." Zhang Yi clapped his hands after hearing this and shouted, "Awesome. But I think it would be more efficient to go into the deep sea and use fishing boats. The existing machinery is outdated, and the era of fuel is officially over. In the future, we will use yuanshi to eliminate it. I will let Lu Qian transform the ships in the port so that we don't have to worry about energy. You can go out to sea to fish like we did in the past. In such a low-temperature environment, there are too few fish along the coast, and if you want to catch large quantities, you still have to go into the deep sea." Chapter 1570, for their experiment. The construction of Tianhai City is in full swing. Once Zhang Yi decided to build the Tianhai restricted area, he had to start from all aspects. Cultivate his own alien troops, build more bases to accommodate more people, and build cities. Most of these affairs were handed over to Yang Xinxin and Zhou Qier to arrange. Zhou Qier is a highly educated overseas rooney, and Yang Xinxin's IQ is needless to say. The two are quite talented in this regard. Zhang Yi himself puts more energy on improving his own strength. The more he studies Xinxue, the more he feels the exquisiteness of this book. If in the past his understanding of how to improve his strength was like a person trying to find a way forward in the fog. But Xinxue is like giving him a lamp to help him illuminate the way forward, greatly shortening his time. The world does not revolve around Zhang Yi. While he is busy, others are also trying their best to improve their strength. The emergence of the yuanshi or vein is not accidental. In this world, there are more magical things beginning to surface. Just as Zhang Yi thought, although most of the yuanshi veins in Weio Valley were taken away by him, Shengjing District still had other resources and could still maintain daily operations. In Blizzard City, the originally quiet city was also surging underground. In the laboratory of the Scientific Research Department, underground of the new command center, Zhu Zheng went down the long vertical ladder to the space of 100 meters underground. He was wearing a neat military uniform and walked forward with a dragon-like and tiger-like step. The researchers in the laboratory were all wearing white coats and were busy. When they saw Zhu Zheng coming, they just greeted him. Zhu Zheng didn't care about it, but just followed the familiar path and came to the deepest part of the laboratory. In front of an organic glass window that was dozens of meters long and nearly 10 meters high, Li Lingxue, director of the Scientific Research Department, stood there with her hands clasped in her arms, her long hair casually coiled with a ballpoint pen, and her eyes under the black-framed glasses stared at the laboratory in front. Zhu Zheng walked over, and his eyes could not hide his nervousness and excitement. It has been a long time since this powerful old man has been unable to suppress his emotions like today. In the laboratory, in a huge transparent jar, a beautiful girl with long hair floating like seaweed is quietly suspended in the green nutrient solution. She closed her eyes, like a sleeping elf in the legend. "How is it? Is our experiment finally going to succeed?" Zhu Zheng's voice trembled when he said this. He paid such a huge price just to cultivate such an ultimate weapon. If he fails again, his heart will bleed. He doesn't want to be a commander in name only. Since the day Zhang Yi was promoted to Ypsilon, his authority has been greatly challenged. That's right. Zhang Yi would never interfere with Zhu Zheng's management of the Jiangnan region on weekdays. But as long as he is there, any word he says is more useful than what Zhu Zheng says. Just like a while ago, he took away the satellite control rights of the Jiangnan region with just a light word. Now Zhu Zheng's authority has been downgraded to the second level. No one can accept this feeling. Even at the beginning, he was grateful for having a patron saint like Zhang Yi. But the dissatisfaction in his heart would slowly accumulate over time. In the end, he decided to get rid of the shackle. Li Lingxue did not look at Zhu Zheng. Her eyes were only willing to stare at the most perfect experiment in her life. That's right. We are going to succeed. This is simply the most perfect experiment. Her genes come from the girl named Yuan Kongyan. She is a natural Ypsilon. Moreover, her cells can perfectly absorb the essence and abilities of other aliens. Although only half of the gene's reproductive cells are retained, under our continuous cultivation, her abilities will sooner or later be close to the original body. Li Lingxue took a deep breath. Although her face remained calm as usual, her chest rose and fell violently, showing her excitement. She has an infinite upper limit. Blizzard City, Deng's technology. A golden dragon specimen was placed in the laboratory, surrounded by experimenters. Deng Shintong stood in front of the specimen with a complicated expression. Deng Mao, the head of the laboratory, said in a low voice, "We have obtained the biological sample of this dragon. It lived about 600 years ago, around the Ming dynasty. We tried to extract the genes from it and tried to analyze whether it contains some special power." Deng Mao looked at Deng Shintong with a strange look. "But we didn't find the factors that we expected to make humans evolve." Deng Shintong closed his eyes and clenched his right hand behind his back. "Instead, we found that part of its gene sequence is the same as Amber." "Is that right?" Deng Mao nodded. "That woman is very special." Deng Shintong smiled. "In the past, we always said that we were descendants of the dragon. But we ourselves, I also understand that this is just a spiritual belief. After all, no one really thinks that they can crawl out of the eggshell. But now, I may have to change my thinking." He looked at the laboratory in front of him. Amber was wearing a white lab coat and sitting quietly in a chair. Deng Mao said, "Her genes are very special, which may be the choice of heaven. We can't get the power of the dragon, but she can. This is also good news for you. Amber's ability in the name of love cannot increase herself in any way. Her ability is purely auxiliary, protecting herself by craving the love of others. So the stronger she becomes, the stronger Deng Shintong, who is locked by her at this time, will become." Deng Shintong looked at Amber in the laboratory, pondered for a moment, and asked, "Is there any risk in this experiment?" Deng Mao raised his gold-rimmed glasses, and his eyes were cold. "As long as it is a human experiment, there are risks. But I can guarantee that her life is safe." She herself agreed to participate in this experiment. "Young master, at this time, please do not disturb the family's plan because of your children's personal affairs." Deng Shintong was silent for a long time. He walked to the front of the laboratory, and through the one-way glass, he stretched out his hand on the glass as if to touch the girl's cheek. After a moment, he put his hand down and said in a deep voice, "Be sure to conduct the experiment under the premise of ensuring her safety." If possible, he would not choose to risk other people's lives.
But the world has changed now.
It is more cruel and more ruthless. The Deng family did not have no reaction to what Zhu Zheng's men did. In such a world, if the Deng family wants to survive, they must be ruthless. Chapter 1575, Testing the Training Results. Tianhai City, Zhangyi Shelter. The construction of the Tianhai restricted area has begun in full swing. After the people who were just sent to Tianhai City were given a certain amount of food and shelter, they were soon sent here to work as laborers. None of those who have survived to this day after the end of the world are weak chickens. They all have relatively strong physical fitness and cold resistance, and their willpower is also very good. And some of them are even people with special abilities. Letting these people come here is not to eat dry food. They must work in exchange for food and Zhang Yi's protection. Zhang Yi did not treat them too harshly. The construction of the Tianhai restricted area first uses barrier stones to build the sky dome to form a defensive barrier, like the Holy Spirit Temple of Nash country. This kind of huge stone is converted by Liu Karen from special materials. Each piece is very precious and heavy. Ordinary people can't carry it at all. Basically, it is led by Uncle Yu, who leads a group of reinforcement or orc-type aliens to carry it. As for others, they are responsible for polishing, stitching, and some other subtle technical work. Not far from here is the Lujiang River that spans Tianhai City. Today, the Lujiang River has been completely frozen, like a white jade belt tied around the waist of Tianhai City. This morning, the frog Qi Baokai emerged from under the ice, and his two round eyes scanned the surroundings like a periscope. It had been sleeping well, but was suddenly awakened by a strong vibration, which made it very unhappy.
Quack.
Who disturbed the frog's good dream? Quack. The frog looked into the distance with a fierce look and soon found the culprit. Bailey Chongqing was shirtless, with only a pair of black training trousers on his lower body, and was leading 30 members of the Fuying Force in running training. Steaming hot air came out of their bodies, then quickly condensed into water mist, and finally turned into frost. 1, 2, 1, 2. The frog lay on the ice with his upper body, one hand supporting his cheek, and the other hand silently tapped the ice with 3 fingers. How much yuanshi can you earn in a month? Why risk your life for such a long time? It yawned, picked up 2 pieces of ice and stuffed them into its ears, and continued to sleep under the ice. The Fuying troops moved forward along the Lujiang River and saw the shelter under construction on a large scale. Zhang, Zhigao is going to repair the shelter again. He is really steady, said an alien. Xiao Honglian looked at the shelter with a look of nostalgia. It seemed to be back to 3 years ago, when they had a conflict with Zhang Yi. Although that vigorous battle is no longer worth mentioning now, it is still thrilling to think about it. You don't understand at all. Zhigao is such a person. He calculates everything in his heart, so he can control everything. That's why he can become the supreme existence. Xiao Honglian said sincerely. Xing Tian also let out a long breath of hot air. Yes, I have been optimistic about him. Since I was a child. He raised his voice and said to everyone, we were childhood friends. I even treated him to spicy noodles. Everyone cast a strange look at Xing Tian. This guy now can't leave Zhang Yi in 3 sentences, and he emphasized that he and Zhang Yi were very familiar with each other in the past. What a freeloader. In the crowd, Wan Ping looked at the tall shelter and the huge sky dome that was being built, and couldn't help squinting his eyes. This is to build a bigger shelter. Lu Dahai, who was standing by, smiled and asked, why, do you want to go over and take a look? Wan Ping heard this and shook his head quickly. No. How can I be qualified to go over there? That is the place where the supreme life is. We can only look up to it. Xing Tian snorted proudly. I have been there. Wan Ping laughed. It is really enviable. Bailey Chongqing heard the speeches of the team members behind him and said coldly, if you want to get the favor of that person, then train well. Only when you show enough value, you'll be qualified to let that person recognize you. For a while, the crowd shouted slogans more vigorously, as if they wanted to attract the attention of someone in the shelter a few kilometers away. In fact, they were indeed noticed by Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi was wearing a silk pajamas and standing barefoot in his bedroom. The floor exuded warm air, and even if he was barefoot, he would feel a warmth along the soles of his feet all the way up. He stood at the window, took out the telescope and zoomed in the lens and saw Bailey Chongqing's muscular upper body at first sight. Behind him, 30 members of the Fuying Force, both men and women, were not wearing combat uniforms, but only the most basic training uniforms, running in neat military formations in the -60-degree weather. Zhang Yi couldn't help but curl his lips. This guy. He's playing tricks on me. On the bed behind him, Zhou Kur was wearing a black pajamas. The sheen of silk could not hide the delicateness of her skin. She crossed her feet. Her white and tender feet swayed. very leisurely. Hearing Zhang Yi's words, Zhou Ke walked over with a curious smile.
Zhang Yi, who is it?
Zhang Yi said, by Li Chongqing. Bring the team to show me the results of the training. During this period, Zhang Yi had not paid much attention to the training of the Fueying troops. But Bailey Chongqing wanted to show his achievements in front of him, so he specially pulled everyone nearby. Zhou Ke stretched out her hand and pointed in the air, and the intelligence system in the room immediately displayed the image of the Fueying troops on the glass. Seeing those aliens who were training hard, Zhou Ke smiled gently. They seem to be in good shape. I feel that they are not much worse than the Yanyan guards in Blizzard City. Zhang Yi said lightly, it is meaningless to compare with ordinary Yanyan guards. If you want to compare, you should compare with the aliens in the investigation team, Zhou Ke said, but their training time is too short. They have not been effectively trained in their abilities. Zhang Yi said, I will speed up their improvement. After all, I don't have so much time to wait for them to grow slowly. Zhou Ke said, are you planning to force the growth? Use drugs. Zhang Yi said, observe for a while. If they have talent, cultivate them more carefully for a while. If they are not talented and have limited upper limits, it is better to stimulate them directly with drugs. What I need is an alien who can be put to use as soon as possible. He thought about it and sent a voice message to Yang Xinxin. After more than a month of training, I, as the principal, should also check their training results. Yang Xinxin replied, okay, I'll let them prepare. The planned inspection will start tomorrow.